Thanks for joining us on this edition of National Focus. I'm Kerdisha St. Louis. Coming up, two major bills to be debated at Parliament on Wednesday. 6 schools receive computers from DAHEI and the new Yorke Valley Bridge in 1 year. Stay with us for details of these and other stories after this.
Children, yell and tell. If someone tries to abuse you, tell until someone believes you and they do something about it.
For more information on child abuse or to report suspected cases on child abuse, contact the Social Welfare Division on 33 Great Marlborough Street or call 266-3020 or 266-3080.
Thanks for staying with us. On Wednesday, Cabinet will convene at the House of Assembly to debate 8 bills to be amended. Of these, the amendment to the Sexual Offences Act and the Geothermal Resources Development Bill are included. At a press conference on Friday, the Honorable Prime Minister and Minister for Finance, Dr. Roosevelt Skerrit, stated that the amendment to the Sexual Offences Act No. 1 of 1998 has been approved and submitted to be debated at the first meeting of the second session of the 9th Parliament. The bill comprises 16 sections and seeks to introduce a number of new as well as to improve on some existing provisions in the Act. Dr. Skerrit revealed that the revised amendments makes provision for spousal rape.
It is amendments based on consultation with the wide cross-section of the Dominican community. We sought to clarify it, but it's an important piece of legislation which every citizen in the country needs to read. It defines when it can be considered an offense and under what conditions it cannot be.
The Geothermal Resources Development Bill is another major legislation to be debated.
It is a very comprehensive piece of legislation that has gone through numerous drafts and reviews by the regional and international agencies. We've gotten technical assistance from the government of New Zealand. The World Bank reviewed this. The Agence Française de Développement also had a part to play in it, the government of New Zealand, locally. So there's been an extensive review of this legislation.
The nation's leader will on Wednesday seek Parliament's approval for the Supplementary Appropriation Bill of Expenditure for $103.8 million for 2015 and 2016. The larger part of that sum, he stated, was spent in response to Tropical Storm Erica.
$65 million, the Ministry of Public Works. The Ministry of Social Services, Family and Gender Affairs, $8.22 million. Majority of which went to the resettlement issues, the provision of payment of rents for everybody who's been impacted by the storm who had to relocate from their homes, payment of income support, payment of 60% of the value of that which was affected by the storm.
Other bills which the Honorable Prime Minister and Minister for Finance will introduce are the International Business Companies Act, the Tax Information Exchange Act, the Value Added Tax Act, and the International Exempt Trust Act.
In keeping with some policy decisions taken by the Cabinet and presented to the Parliament, for example, one of which is increasing the tax threshold from $120,000 as it currently stands in legislation to $250,000. So anybody whose turnover will be $250,000 or less will not be required to make a VAT declaration. And this will save a number of small businesses several thousands of dollars annually.
The Honorable Minister for Justice, Immigration and National Security, Rayburn Blackmore, will introduce a bill for an act to make provision in relation to bail-in or connection with criminal proceedings in Dominica and to provide for related matters. The Honorable Minister for Tourism and Urban Renewal, Robert Tong, will also introduce a bill for an act to amend the Tourism Regulations and Standard Acts of 2005. Parliament begins at 10 a.m. and will be carried live on GIS Channel 7 on the Marpin 2K4, Channel 2 on Digiplay, as well as our GIS Dominica YouTube channel. Meanwhile, the Honorable Prime Minister and Minister for Finance, Dr. Roosevelt Skerrit, has highlighted the contributions of the Dominica Labour Party administration to the Marigot constituency. Prime Minister, speaking at a press conference on Friday, revealed an offer he made to the Honorable Parliamentary Representative of the Marigot constituency.
But this is a gentleman who I offered last year 15 petrocastles, 15 three-bedroom petrocastles with 2 washrooms for the citizens of Marigot, and he has not moved one finger to take advantage of this 15 petrocastles in the initial instance.
The nation's leader also divulged contributions his government made to students in that constituency.
Over 60 students from Marigot, from the constituency of Marigot, received books, shoes, uniform, and in some cases school bags from the government of Dominica to attend school.
He also addressed rehabilitation of a specific road at Melvin Hall.
This is the same member of parliament who demonstrated over the Kayambok, Melvin Hall, Vauxhall Road, and who knows that I gave the village council of Marigot $30,000 to do some repairs to that road. And the monies had been sitting in the council in a fixed deposit, I've been told, on the streets for over a year. For over a year.
The Honorable Prime Minister was speaking in response to the intention of the Honorable Opposition Leader Lennox Linton to pose a vote of no confidence in the Honorable Prime Minister at the next sitting of Parliament. In more news, the Honorable Parliamentary Representative for the Maho constituency, Rayburn Blackmore, presented $150,000 to the Canfield Urban Council last Friday. The funds will go towards the purchase of a brand new tipper truck for the council. This is a fulfillment of a promise made by the Maho MP at the council's inaugural meeting last week.
I will make it available to the Canfield Urban Council on behalf of the people of Canfield for the procurement of a new truck. That truck is already in order and will be done very, very soon. So it's not a used truck, but a new truck. And then what I would like to see is to ensure that the council itself demonstrates some degree of ownership of that truck by ensuring that it's properly cared for and properly maintained. So I'm indeed very happy to hand over from the government of Dominica a check of $150,000 to Mr. Wilson, council representing the Canfield Urban Council.
The Maho MP also presented $20,000 towards the construction of the headquarters of the Maho Scout Troop.
The Maho Scout Troop have been trying to build headquarters for a while now. And of course, a parcel of land was donated to them by Mr. Nassif. And sometime earlier this year, we had a groundbreaking ceremony right here. The function was the official function in which the President of Dominica attended. And then the broke ground, not knowing where the money was going to come from. They have begun the process, the project, and then they also made a request to me. I also made a request to the Honorable Prime Minister on the behalf. And today we are making it available to them a check of $20,000 to go towards the construction of the Scout headquarters in Maho.
Meantime, preparations are ongoing for the staging of Heritage Day in Maho on Sunday. Road improvement work is ongoing in the Belfast area.
That is normally used whenever we have an activity in the Maho area. Vehicular traffic is actually diverted to that area. The road there is in a very deplorable condition. So we are spending in the region of $210,000 to actually improve the road in the Upper Belfast area.
Washroom facilities are also being constructed.
When we had originally conceptualized the renovation of the playing field itself and rehabilitation, it was always my plan to actually construct proper washroom facility, including showers for both women and men. But we have been able to actually get the funding, and a request was made to the Honorable Prime Minister, and then we have a local contractor, but we are spending $44,000 to actually build that washroom facilities.
You're watching National Focus. More when we return.
Let's have some fun, eh?
I'm not ready for your kind of fun yet.
But everybody else is doing it.
But I'm not everybody else. I'm me, and I want to do well in school.
Well, you definitely get an A for attitude.
I plan to get an A in life, and then I'll think of your kind of fun.
So what am I to do in the meantime?
You'll survive.
Say no when you're not ready. Use condoms when you are.
Welcome back. Government is expecting to hand over the new Yorke Valley Bridge to the community of Layu in 1 year. Although construction of the project started in September of this year, the official groundbreaking ceremony for the construction of the new bridge was held last Friday. Member of Parliament for the St. Joseph constituency, Kelvadaru, explained that the new bridge will be able to withstand the pressure of the Layu River. He said this project is significant to farmers in his constituency. The MP committed to completing the project and spoke of other projects in the constituency geared at assisting farmers.
And as a Member of Parliament, I remain committed to ensuring that this project is fully completed. In the meantime, we continue to do rehabilitation works on some of the existing farm roads within the Yorke Valley area. In Niba and Krong and Atley, right now there's a team doing some work over there. We just completed some work on the Old Cahom Road and the Agwood area. And we'll continue to facilitate the farmers, because I know the struggles that you the farmers go through. I have visited you on your farms and seen you hard at work. And this is your livelihood. This is what you use to send your children to school and to pay your bills. And as a government, we have a responsibility to assist you, and we will assist you. Let me also say this afternoon that the farmers in the Cahom area, and I know you're listening and some of you are this afternoon, we have not forgotten you. In fact, just this week, I had a meeting with the Minister of Public Works and her staff to discuss the progress on that road. And very shortly, we will commence actual works on the Cahom Road. And again, a commitment has been made by the Prime Minister in the budget of this year to provide $2 million towards development and complete rehabilitation of the Cahom Road.
This is the second major bridge project fully funded by the People's Republic of China, the first being the Dominica-China Friendship Bridge located in Roseau. Ambassador of the People's Republic of China to Dominica is His Excellency Li Jiangning.
This one, the Yorke Valley Bridge, when it's completed, would serve as another symbol of the strong friendship and cooperation between China and Dominica, as well as embodiment of China's continuing support of Dominica's economic and social progress. I would like to take this opportunity to express my gratitude to Honorable Minister Blanchard and her team at Ministry of Public Works and Ports for their dedication, their expertise, and their hard work. They brought the spirit of cooperation and teamwork into this project. May this project be a great success. May the friendship and cooperation between our two countries, which connect our two peoples, continue to develop and deepen in the days and years to come.
He implored the patience of the people of the Layu community during construction. In more news, the Ministry of Education has expressed appreciation for a donation of 23 computers to 6 schools in the South from the Dominica Health and Education Initiative, DAHEI. This will contribute greatly to educational technology. On Tuesday, 19 desktop computers and 4 laptops worth over $30,000 were presented to the principals of the schools. Local representative of DAHEI in Dominica, Joycelyn Graham-Larond, spoke on behalf of the organization.
Today, we are going to hand over 10 computers to furnish the Granby Primary School Computer Lab. 5 computers to the Convent High School Computer Lab, 2 computers to Bacatel Primary, 2 computers to Tetmon Primary, 2 to Roseau Primary, 2 to the Point Michel Primary School. We, the members of the DAHEI, are very elated to give such donations. We do hope that this will assist in the development of the schools.
Assistant Chief Education Officer Dr. Jeffrey Blaise expressed the appreciation of the Ministry of Education for the contribution.
I'm sure that the computers that are donated here this morning are going to be put to very good use within our schools. The schools have been looking forward to this tangible contribution. I know that some principals at a previous meeting mentioned, when are we going to get those computers? So here the computers are this morning, and I'm sure that the plans are already made for the use within the schools. So let me again thank you for this fine gesture. We really appreciate whatever contribution that the corporate sector can provide to the education system.
Dr. Blaise told principals that the intention of the organization is to ensure that technology is infused with Dominica's education. This, he said, is in keeping with the objective of the Ministry of Education. He made a call to schools to place more emphasis on digital education.
And here lies the importance of digital literacy. We need to educate our students and the public on the importance of use of the computer, but responsible use of the computer in terms of disseminating information, not only information, but also images. Because we know what happens in public, we know what happens in our school system with students, and whereas we allow them to use computer, there must be responsible use of the device, and that is important.
He regards this contribution as a partnership between the education sector and the private sector.
It's about working together. The state cannot do it alone. We need the contribution of the private sector in development of education, because after all, when the students do well, they go back within the business world and make substantial contributions. And that is what country development, national development is all about. We working together to ensure that our students are responsible, productive citizens for now and in the future.
In March 2015, the organization made a contribution of 21 computers to the Bright Beginning Center, the Coolibistry, Grand Bay, Caleb John Laura, Wharton Waven, and the Soufriere primary schools. DAHEI is a US-based non-profit organization whose aim is to assist the health and education sector in Dominica. The organization was founded by Dr. Anne-Marie Laron Richard and Farai Laron Hutchinson. And finally, this News Time Managing Director of Windward Commodities and Global Specialist in Branding Commodity Products, Chris Doherty, is impressed with the level of significance the government of Dominica is placing on the establishment of a national brand. He was speaking to GIS News following a national consultation for fresh produce in Dominica last week.
By the time it gets to the end market, the produce is in as good a condition as it was when it was put on the ship, and that's, I think, something which the government of Dominica is very focused on at the moment, to making sure that if we're going to create a brand and create lots of expectations and charge more money, which will help farmers, it's very important that by the time the produce gets there, it's still fabulous.
The branding specialist believes that Dominica's produce can make a significant name for itself in the regional and global markets.
So I've been to the market, I've been to farms, I've been in to as many places as I can, and the fabulous thing about Dominica is the quality of the soil. Everything grows here. I mean, it's amazing. The quality of the produce is outstanding, and I think actually consumers in the region recognise that. Dominica has very definitely a good reputation, and if you look at some of the produce in the market, it's fabulous. The avocados are fantastic. It's not, and that's not something you necessarily get in some of the other regional markets.
A key factor, Doherty says, is letting the world know that Dominica's produce is one of the best.
These days, if you don't say it, people assume that Costa Rica does have the best bananas in the world. And I think it's quite important that, and part of this exercise is working all the way from farmer, all the way through to the Ministry of Agriculture, Dexia, the new pack house, and I think a lot of this is all about leveraging all the money and all the work which has been put in over the last few years to pack produce more effectively, to make sure that the quality is right. And then what we're talking about here is really talking about it in a way that makes, that opens new markets with supermarkets like the Massey Group in Barbados, in Trinidad, etc. But also on a wider scale into places like Europe and the US.
The next step towards brand development is the penetration of niche markets.
Our first concern is to sell as much produce as we can from Dominica. And I think once we've created a platform which adds value for farmers, so farmers get better prices, adds value to processors and packers, and that we can demonstrate that that works into the region, I think on that basis we then look at higher value niche markets, agro-processing, selling to manufacturers and end consumers in other markets. So that's definitely something we'll look at, but I think it's very important that we first get a practical basis for that.
That's your English news. Your tip of the day is next.
There is a silent, invisible killer in our midst, a killer which largely goes unnoticed as it plies its deadly trade. Its name is second-hand tobacco smoke, which has a far greater impact on persons inhaling this poison than on smokers themselves. Second-hand tobacco smoke is especially detrimental in public places and negatively impacts our national health as well as public health expenditure. Stop this invisible killer now. Say no to second-hand tobacco smoke in public places. A public health message brought to you by the Ministry of Health and the Pan American Health Organization.
Remember, the thoughts that you think and the statements you make regarding yourself determine your mental attitude. If you have a worthwhile objective, find the one reason why you can achieve it rather than hundreds of reasons why you can't. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. We always welcome your suggestions and comments. Drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm or visit our website news.gov.dm. Like our Facebook page, facebook.com/GIS News Dominica, and follow our Twitter at GIS Dominica. You can also catch up on past National Focus newscasts on our GIS Dominica YouTube channel. Live streaming is also available on our YouTube channel 24 hours a day. From all of us here on the GIS News production team, I'm Kerdisha St. Louis. Thanks for watching and join us again next time on National Focus.